My name is Meval Biju, and I will be explaining the keystone species concept and how the Canis lupus in Yellowstone Park is considered one. Keystone species are not abundant in a community. However, their unique and various interactions with other organisms dramatically impact their ecosystems. Keystone species affect biodiversity, which can be measured by species richness, ecosystem diversity, and genetic diversity. In the 1920s, gray wolves were removed from Yellowstone National Park because they were overconsuming prey, especially elk. They were reintroduced 70 years later as a means to restore and preserve species and their biodiversity. Originally, winter severity in wolves determined carrion availability, which many scavengers rely upon for survival and reproduction. During wolf absence, carrion availability was dependent on winter severity. Studies show how elk mortality was based on snow depth, an abiotic factor. Increased snow led to increased metabolic activity and decreased access to food, which caused the elk to die. When wolves were reintroduced, wolves became the primary cause of elk mortality, and scavengers were able to obtain food consistently. This graph depicts how the presence of wolves mitigates reduction in late winter carrion. Without wolves, late winter carrion availability was decreased by 27% in March and 66% in April. When the wolves were present, reduction in March was only 4% and only 11% in April. When the wolves were removed, it caused several negative effects to organisms further down the trophic pyramid in Yellowstone National Park. For wolves, elks were primary prey because they were highly abundant and easily obtainable. When wolves were absent, elks overgrazed on willows that stood along the riparian system. This decreased food availability for beavers and grizzly bears. Reduced willow density flourished the moose population, whereas it decreased the bird migration to the area. More directly, it caused a loss of plant and root structure along the river. This decreased overall plant diversity and changed the flow of the river. When the wolves were returned, the elks gained a major predator, thus alleviating foraging pressure on the plants and consequently permitting the overall ecosystem to recover. Other effects include scavenging at wolves' kill sites year-round, since the gray wolves provide scavenge to scavengers from their own kills. The grizzly bear regained access to essential plants, and the wolf's kill remnants provided low-energy cost nutrition. Lastly, coyotes, which had heavily preyed upon small mammals, retreated from wolf-populated areas, thus allowing small mammal populations to flourish. During the 75-year absence of gray wolves, Yellowstone National Park faced declines in biodiversity, species richness, and habitat quality, all of which was reversed with reintroduction. Wolves limit the populations of large herbivores, force behavioral changes in small carnivores, and indirectly affect vegetation patterns and productivity. For these reasons, the Canis lupus is considered a keystone species.